very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you, Myron. All right. Mindful of Randall's advice, before we move on, committee reports obviously are in the packet, unless we have a critical input here from a committee chair. But I would like to take a minute to hear from Niels Heinrich, who is Greg Weiss's administrative assistant. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, David. Good morning, everyone. I'm here on behalf of County Commissioner Greg Weiss, your County Commissioner. He is not able to make it today. He is in Washington, D.C., and he'll be flying to Tallahassee next week to tell the legislature to do right by Palm Beach County. Just a few things that I want to bring to your attention. I don't know if you saw the commissioner on TV earlier in this week. He was on TV on Tuesday to talk about issues with the Lake Okeechobee water levels. Every couple of years, the Army Corps of Engineers readjust how they operate the lake. And some people to the north of us in Martin County, specifically Congressman Brian Mast, has been floating the idea that they should lower the lake levels to 10.5 feet. If the Army Corps would do that, that would have devastating consequences for us here in Palm Beach County. It would jeopardize, jobs. It would jeopardize navigation. It would jeopardize our water supply. So the commissioner was really concerned about this, and that's why he has directed staff to come back with a resolution. He spoke out on TV. He has written a letter to the Army Corps, and also on Wednesday he spoke to the Army Corps to make sure that the Army Corps does the right thing by Palm Beach County. Lastly, yesterday there was a zoning meeting at the County Commission, and one of the things that they approved is the Cleveland Clinic, which is one of the best medical providers and one of the largest medical providers in the world, a nonprofit organization. The commission okayed them to build a 350 square foot medical facility off of Lyons and Lake Worth Road. And so that means more choice for you all, for everyone here in Palm Beach County. I don't know if you know about the Cleveland Clinic, but they have a unique approach to health and wellness. They kind of go by body part or by disease. They're one of the best providers. So it's not going to be a hospital, but they are going to be opening up a new facility. Lastly, we're here to help you out. So if you have an issue, if you have a question, call us 561-355-2202. Thank you.
Did you really mean 350 square feet or 350,000? Okay. There's 350 square feet's about the size of the bathroom here. Mike Pratt, Property Appraiser's Office. Scott, good news.
Good morning,
for
everybody. I just wanted to let everybody know that actually today is, as you know, March 1st. It is the last day to file for homestead exemption. And so this is it. I will tell you that I have applications in my possession, and if there's anybody in this room that was a resident, I think you're a resident on January the 1st of this year, I'll be happy to get you your homestead exemption application started following the meeting. And also, if you don't know anybody right now, but you go back to your building, to your association, and you find somebody that is a new resident, we will be here this next Thursday, because we always come the first Thursday of the month at 1:30, and we'll be prepared to take late filing homestead exemptions. So I work for Dorothy Jacks, your property appraiser, a 30-year county worker like myself, and we're very, very pleased to be able to service you, help you, and if you have any questions following the meeting, I'll stay here and be happy to answer them. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Now we can get back to any resident who wishes to be heard under good of the order. Good and welfare, if you prefer. Olga.
Thank you, David. My name is Olga Walkenstein. For many of you who are not aware of it, we pay approximately $1 million a year to rent the clubhouse. Plus, we pay all the expenses. That $1 million would save us approximately $60 a month in fees. Now, thank you. Now, the builder is going to need water rights, our water rights, to build on the golf course. I would like to propose something, and I want to put it in everyone's head. I would like to see us own the clubhouse, but I want to see the builder pay for it, and we give him the water rights to build. This is what I want to install in everybody's mind to think about. And if you agree, let David Israel know. Let the committee know. Let the vice presidents know that this is what we want. Remember, we'd be saving approximately each of us $60 a month in fees. And we won't have anybody giving us orders. We won't have anybody coming around to the pools and asking us for our IDs and intimidating us. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Olga. I'm not sure what you mean by water rights, but we get our water from Palm Beach County Water Utilities. I think you're referring to the drainage easement, which goes out through two 50-odd-inch culverts over near Southampton. The builder would find it far more financially feasible to just wire in a new route of drainage exit, which would be well under the millions of dollars. However, owning the clubhouse, marvelous idea. I think it's a great idea. Just remember who's going to pay for it. It isn't going to be the builder on the golf course. Les.
Yeah. Les Rivkin, Stratford J. A few different comments. I find it interesting that nobody protested that Mr. Israel had tried to influence the elections with his blog. I find it interesting that candidates for the executive committee were not allowed to talk about their platform. For those interested in gun safety, I do have petitions to get on the ballot a change to the Florida Constitution to essentially eliminate assault weapons. If anybody would be interested in signing that petition, I'll be out front at the end of the meeting. Also, once again, I bring to your attention the fact that we want resident input, and yet we deny the possibility for a huge number of part-time residents from being involved on a regular basis by limiting their involvement if they don't live here for 9 months. With modern ways of communication, I don't see why they can't be just as informed as anybody else and why we continue to deny them. Thank you. Lastly, for any and everybody who voted for me, thank you very much.
Thank you, Les. Yes,
Hi.
ma'am.
Carol Burns from Wellington G. There was a petition handed in to UCO, I think on February 13th, and I don't see it in the agenda or being mentioned, about the fence on the Haverhill Gate. Has there been any?
You want to speak to that, Anita?
We received 11 petitions on that date, and they have finally been vetted, and we will take them. Some of them will need legal review. They certainly have to be discussed by the advisory board first, and as soon as we can, we will get them back for vote. I know what you're referring to or what you're thinking about. We try, in the bylaws it says that once it comes in, we will get it at the next meeting, but not when you get 11. Okay? Thank you.
All right, I just want to make sure that it's being addressed. The longer you wait, I've heard nothing's happened, everything is fine. But are you going to wait until somebody gets hurt? If you look at the gate there, they walk around the gate, they go around the gate, there's a path in the grass. We need to put a stop to that. Thank you.
Okay. David.
Hold on. Yeah, Barbara.
I just want to say, Carol, you handed in that petition up at UCO. I received that petition, and I handed it to David, and he took care of it from there with, I presume, Anita. Just to let you know, it has gone through the channels.
Thank you.
Sir.
It's George Nathan, Windsor C. I'm the president of our association. Recently, we had a landlord who had to evict the tenant. And we found out from the sheriff when he was here doing his thing, and the locksmith was there, that this man had been evicted. That was his 10th time. So I went to UCO and I asked the sheriff, how come our investigation doesn't show that? He says, that's a criminal investigation you do for a renter. There's no financial. What you need to do is a civil investigation. So UCO only does a half of investigation because they don't do a financial. But I spoke to Mr. Foster, and he says, what we really need is something called a renter's reference that will show what a renter is doing anywhere in the country. And I don't know whether UCO can do that for a renter, or does it have to fall to the real estate agents and the landlords to get that and then show it to the board to say, this is what's going on, and then we don't interview that guy, and we say to the landlord, no, get somebody else. So this is just a shout out to all the boards to make sure that if you have renters coming to you, that the landlord gets a copy of what they call a renter's reference. And if they come up clean, then you proceed with your application. If they do not, you tell your landlord to move on to someone else, or if the real estate agents are not doing that, you tell your landlord, your unit owner landlord, get another real estate agent who is willing to do this for you, because it's very time consuming, it's expensive, and you have these people that come in. This man who was living here, he was homesteading for about 4 months, wasn't paying any rent, and he did about $5,000 or $6,000 damage to that unit, and now the unit owner is going to have to bear the responsibility of that repair, or we have to find out whether the association is responsible for any of that. So it's just a shout out to the board members and our delegates to see if they can incorporate that into their condo practices. Thank you very much.
Thank you, George. I will say that the term renter's reference is new to me. We were working under legal guidance, which in essence said a renter is not responsible to your association for finances, so we could only legally do a criminal background. Probably we will get on to our investigations, our Scott Rob, and we'll see that this happens. Thank you very much. Yes.
Marilyn Gordetza, president of Camden D.
Hi, Marilyn.
How do you do, David?
Yeah.
In all the years that I've been involved with organizations, both here and up north, I always thought the good and welfare was for good, as well as other things. Well, I have something good to say. I recently had an accident here in the village. I took a very bad trip and fall, landed on my face, broke my nose, have a problem with a bleed on my brain. I have to tell you that the people from Atlantic Broadband were so fabulous. Happened to have been in the synagogue, in the sanctuary. I think almost everybody from Atlantic Broadband came in to see what they could do. One of them grabbed something to stop the bleeding. Somebody called 911. Somebody called my daughter. I just have to tell you, they are starting off doing more than they are expected to do. Hopefully it will continue.
All right. I will pass that on to Reagan Anderson at Atlantic Broadband. But you reminded me of something I'm very remiss in not mentioning. Our insurance chair, Tony Salamito, fell some time ago. She was in the hospital, and she is now at Manor Care, convalescing. Not in good shape. So probably a card would be nice. I don't know if she is accepting visitors in any great number. She is. Okay. All right. No, let's not all go now. I mean, Phyllis, who is doing all the heavy lifting for Tony as her healthcare advocate, has more information on this, but she was in pretty bad shape for a while. So good wishes are always appreciated. All right. Yes, Ed.
Good morning, everybody. I think this portion of the assembly has been very enlightening as we all try to improve our way of life here in Century Village. I have gotten several complaints, one very serious, about a matter that we've talked about before, and that is that this unit owner is being besieged twice a day by a person who feeds the pigeons and the birds. His backyard is a disaster. During this past week at 5 o'clock in the morning, his backyard was invaded. The association refuses to take any responsibility. I know that WPRF on certain occasions has hired someone to catch these birds. He contacted the person who's in control, came one time, advised the perpetrator that they could be fined, never came back again. It appears to be a problem that we as unit holders have to help each other. And I think the responsibility for the control of this is very difficult to pin to anybody. I think that WPRF, who owns the various other grounds, should do a bit more to try to reduce the population here. Now, those of you who are experiencing the same thing, you know it's very frustrating. And while UCO, I believe, is limited in what they could do, I think we should have like a central place where all these particular incidences can be reported, and then maybe in some way we could do a much better job than we're doing right now. And I don't think anybody wants to be invaded. So that's my comment, and I hope we can help them.
Thank you, Ed. Myron?
Yes. I'd like to bring up something that I had brought up previously. Finally, Miss Israel, I got connected to your blog. It was wonderful. Your girl who took care of it, Sandy, I don't see her in the audience now, but I know she's here and I want to thank her. However, I have a problem with my internet, so I haven't been getting your mailings lately. I understand by somebody that came up before me that you sent out something on your blog to try and influence people to vote for people that you were in favor of. What are you saying no? That's what somebody said. I'm not saying it. I didn't see it. However, I'm not here to talk about that. What I'm here to talk about, I think it's time that Century Village in West Palm Beach had their own blog. It's time. We have 15,000 people here, and we don't have our own blog to notify everybody in the village that has the capacity to get the message what's going on, what's happening, what they should know about. Now, this is not the time, I guess, to make a motion, as it was brought up that it should be done in new business. So I'm going to wait for that for the next meeting. But I want everybody to realize what's important. A blog of our own for Century Village, for all the people in the village. Thank you.
Myron,
Yes.
when you say a blog, are you looking for an interactive blog where people can post comments? Is that what you're looking for?
I don't know exactly what I'm looking for, to be honest with you. I'm not too involved in that type of thing.
Okay. Well, we do
I
have...
would like something, a blog, where people could get notified about what's the events in the village, what's going on daily.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to make a shameless plug for my website, which is www.yukoreporter.com. It has a complete copy of each month's newspaper posted at least before the first of each month.
Yes.
It has a section on upcoming events with all the information you need. It has a listing of all the Yuko meetings. It has the bus schedule for everything. It has all the classes, all the clubs, and all the shows. And it also has a section on about Palm Beach.
Right.
So-
Very, very wonderful. It's terrific. It really is. However, it comes out monthly.
No. It is up every single day. You just go on the internet. That's yukoreporter.com.
The information on the paper is monthly. It's not
Excuse me.
It is not something that happened yesterday.
No.
It's something that happened within the last month. It's not the same. It's not the same as having our own blog. The newspaper comes out once a month with wonderful information, but it's monthly, not daily.
Okay, and I update the website daily. Okay? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Myron, is that it?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Please.
Good morning. I'm Wayne Smith with Somerset E.
Oh, that's close.
And
A little closer to Mike.
Wayne Smith with Somerset E. And I have a recurring question on the bus stop reinstatement.
No.
In January, they had a vote at the transportation meeting and voted 10-2 to reinstate them. In February, I went to the meeting, and they said Jose had to be there. He wasn't there, and he was supposed to call, and he's never called. And since then, when I try to get on the bus at Somerset, the bus driver yells at us and tells us it's not a bus stop. So, has the bus stop been reinstated?
I thought that was in train. Lori, you want to speak to that? Well, as chair of the Transportation Committee.
Thank you. I'm Lori Torres, chairperson of Transportation. I believe that bus stop was reinstated. I will check it as soon as I get back. There is a transportation meeting this Tuesday at 9 o'clock at Yuko. Everyone is welcome to attend, and we will definitely check on this issue. Thank you.
All right, now Eddie oversees the Transportation Committee. Eddie, you got anything to add?
I have no idea whether this has been reinstated or not, but we will talk to Jose before the meeting on Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, 9 o'clock, we have a bus meeting. So come to the office if you're interested in that.
All right. Okay, Olga.
I just want to clarify something that Myron said, okay? David has a wonderful blog. It gives you a tremendous amount of information. The problem is, it's David's blog. It does not belong to Century Village. David has complete control over that blog. There are some of us, including myself, who are not allowed to comment on this blog, yet we are forced to pay UCO dues each month. This is a problem. David should not have a blog that discriminates against Century Village residents. We should have a blog that belongs to us, that we control, and that allows every resident to include and put their 2 cents in, as long as they don't curse. Fair enough? Thank you.
And it? Can I add something here, Stu? Weren't you listening? That's what my wife always asks me. Weren't you listening? Lady sat over here and told you about a blog. It's www.UCO Reporter. It's a website, not a blog. It's got any and everything that you want to know about this village on there. Atlantic Broadband, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And for some reason, people are having a hard time understanding UCO Reporter is a paper, but the website is also UCO Reporter. And if you go to your computer and type in UCOReporter.com, it'll come up, and you'll get all the information you want. Everything that they're talking about, 90% of that information, well, matter of fact, there's a link from that. It'll take you to all the information that's on David's blog. And technology is really fascinating in this day and age. You can get any and everything you want on there. And you got to get out there and experience it, try it, look at it, see what's there. You can get the hearsay all day long, but until you actually get a hold of it and see what's there, you don't really comprehend. There's just so much going on in the world of technology. It's unbelievable. Thank you.
Ed.
This is a very interesting topic. For those of you who have not been aware, I submitted several petitions for changes in the bylaws. One of those petitions is about an independent web page. A blog is an exchange of ideas. A web page, if you go to other communities, according to Chapter 718, has to have a tremendous amount of information. That information is to include